This chapter to us, I want you to pay real close attention to it and what it has to say. I'm sure most people in here have read this chapter, and welcome everyone here in the house of God. We're glad that you're here. And I always say that if you've been here twice, you're no longer a guest. You have to take the same abuse as everybody else. Praise God. And so receive something from God this morning. Don't waste your moment. Proverbs 24, verse 1, Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them. That's pretty strong language already, isn't it? Don't be envious of them. Don't desire to hang out with them. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief. Through wisdom is a house building, and by understanding it is established. And by knowledge shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches. A wise man is strong. Yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength. He's not talking just about muscle here. There's some strength and determination that the church needs to get inside. You got to get some grit. Young people, you got to get some grit. Be careful who you're hanging out with at school. Be careful who you're talking to on the internet. You want to be careful about Facebook. Some of this stuff is just absolutely full of garbage. And we're wasting our energies and times on this. And we're wondering why we're discouraged half the time, can't get going. Well, some of those are just simple facts. Next verse. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war. And in multitude of counselors there is safety. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. Never says anything. He that deviseth to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. You get in your battle, and you start laying down, that's going to show you right then how much strength you've got to serve God. If thou forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, and those that are ready to be slain, if thou sayest, Behold, we knew it not, doth not he that pondereth the heart consider it? And he that keepeth thy soul, doth not he know it? And shall not he render to every man according to his works? Now, I hope there's nobody scared over that one. Like there should be some good stuff happening in the church. Right? Now, God's going to deliver to you according to your works. Oh, so you're doing nothing. You're okay? That means you get nothing from God.
That's right.
Hello? Next verse. My son, eat thou honey, because it is good. It's good, right, Mike? Honey. Oh, honey. I've been putting it in my coffee forever. Of course, I won't be drinking it for the next 30 days, but it's good. And the honeycomb, which is sweet to thy taste. True statements, right? So shall the knowledge of wisdom be unto thy soul, when thou hast found it. Is anybody searching? Oh, you think you're wise. You got all the answers. The Bible said you need to seek it. Search it out. Let it be found. Then there shall be a reward, and thy expectation shall not be cut off. Wow. In other words, if you're waiting and you're trusting God for something, you're needing something from God, if you'll seek wisdom, God will give you the answer that you need, and your expectation of God doing something won't be cut off. Well, God's never going to do anything. Right? Lay not wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Spoil not his resting place. For a just man falleth 7 times, and riseth up again. But the wicked shall fall into mischief. Once they're down, they just keep on going down. But a righteous man that's serving God, if you fall, you're going to get straight back up again because you want to be righteous. You don't want to be mischievous. You don't want to be full of corruption and sin. Next verse. Rejoice not when thine enemy falleth. Everybody listen? And let not thine heart be glad when he stumbleth. Now the next verse is going to tell you why. Everybody got this verse? Don't. You got an enemy and they fall, don't get too excited about it. That's right. You need to be careful. You need to keep the same principles that God has given you. And when he stumbles, don't be glad about it. Next verse, listen. Lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Did everybody catch that? I'm going to explain that. You see, if God sees your gladness, if God sees your rejoicing over your enemy because he fell, because he's a mess, when God sees that, and then he looks at you and sees it, he could be displeased by it, by your attitude, by your spirit. And so if he does that and he sees that, he could turn away the wrath from your enemy and start blessing them. You ever had your enemies get blessed? Well, you're standing around with zilch. Huh? You ever seen that? Be careful. I told you, listen up to this chapter. Next verse. Fret not thyself because of evil men. Stop worrying. Let your faith loose. Stop getting so excited. Well, this is against me and that's against me. Something else is against me. Stop fretting. That's an old word. We use that in New Brunswick a lot. Fret. Usually it was applied to women, but we won't discriminate here this morning. It's for everybody. Don't fret. Stop fretting because of evil men. It doesn't matter. We might possibly, I strongly believe, that we are living in the day. I believe the Antichrist has already been born. I don't know how old he is, but I believe we're that close to the coming of Jesus Christ that the Antichrist has already been born, but stop fretting over evil men. Don't worry about Putin. Don't want to get his just dues. We already read the verse. He's going to be rewarded according to his works. Woo! Stop fretting. Neither be thou envious at the wicked. I know church people that's looked on at people that's not in the world, not in the church, and say, I'd rather hang out with them. Like, are you trying to select a word here? My vocabulary is very thin sometimes when it comes to that, but what is it? Bait. Bait. That's a good word. Because I want to use the word quit, but I use that a lot. This world's a mess. Why would I want to hang out with it? Why would I be envious? Because somebody's got a brand new car, but the sin in their life is so awful that if God would come tonight, he wouldn't make it. Why would I be envious of that? I've got a house coming that is beyond any house that's ever been built this earth. Huh? I'm going to be on a very busy street. Because it's going to be popular. There's no streets down here. You know, Waterloo Row, is it? In Fredericton? Waterloo Row. It used to be all the bigwigs years ago in Fredericton, where the government is down there and stuff. And houses are huge and all, you know, and people drive by there just to see the cars, and that's, you know, it's by the river, and it's a nice lane. That's not even going to touch the street I'm on. I think Mark's got a bid in on the house that's at the end of my street. Yeah, corner lot, yeah. See every direction. Don't worry about the evilness of this world, church. It doesn't matter. God's in control. The end product of it all is God's going to have the final say. Do you know what the final say of it all is going to be? Satan, I'm going to cast you in hell into the lake of fire for eternity. You're never going to tempt anything to slow down because I haven't started preaching yet. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. It's going to happen, church. Don't worry about it. It's going to take place. What events are going to happen to us? I don't know, but my trust is in the Lord. I'm holding on to the hand of God. I'm not putting my faith in the horses and chariots of Egypt. Forget that. I want to trust God.
That's right.
We got any more verses left? Oh, yeah, here we go. My son, fear thou the Lord and the King. Meddle not with them that are given to change. Saying this today and something else tomorrow. No consistency whatsoever. Don't worry about it. Just stay away from that person. They'll just bring confusion into your life.
Amen.
Get a path of direction going in your life, church. Get a course laid out. Take a step of faith and trust God for it. Well, I don't know what's going to happen, preacher, so I've just been sitting around waiting. Yeah, I know you have. It's time to take a course and move forward until God says, okay, stop. Do you not believe that God can say to you, stop? Yes. God can say to you, stop. Everything that God says is not in the positive action. Oh, okay, move forward. Hit this one. Do that one. Do this thing. You're going to win here. No, God's going to sometimes say no. Back away. Step back. That's the confidence that you and I need to have in God.
Amen.
For their calamity shall rise suddenly. And who knoweth the ruin of them both? You don't know what's going to transpire, what's going to take place. Be careful who you're hanging out with, church. Be careful the course and the direction you're going in. Young people, listen. You can get caught. I had a young man in New Brunswick. And was in the church. He was a goalie for Fredericton High School, which is AAA hockey. High school hockey in New Brunswick is AAA. So I don't know what level that is here. Right? The Braves, or they'd be that age, right? I think the Braves would have a hard time with 3 or 4 or 5 high school teams in Fredericton, in the New Brunswick area. And he was a goalie for that team. He got picked and the whole deal, and he did very well. Him and the other goalies shared equally their games. And in grade 12, he wrote a letter in one of his classes. He wrote a letter, and they wanted them to write an essay or whatever on who their best friend was. And in grade 12, in Fredericton High School, which runs about 1900, there's 2 high schools there now, so there's about 1900 kids in that school. How many's in Smith Falls? 3 or 4? 100. But it's only a quarter of this school. And he wrote an essay and a letter, and I've got it somewhere in my office, on who his best friend was. And he wrote about Jesus. In grade 12, he said, Jesus is my best friend. I warned him about hanging out with the wrong ones. You got to be careful. Now, was I against him playing hockey? No, absolutely not. But I was against him hanging out with them all afterwards. You can do your thing, and God can bless you in the areas of life. And I mean, when I was a young person, I was taught I couldn't play hockey, I couldn't go to the high school games, I couldn't do nothing. I was separated from everything because it was all sin. Everything was sin. And so we didn't get to do a lot as young people. We were segregated from all of that stuff. That's not necessarily right and important. I believe that we can do things. But you need to be careful who you're hanging out with after the game.
Right.
You need to be careful of your friends that you're putting into place in your life and what's going on. I'm talking to adults as much as I am to the young people here. We've got a mission from God. God has put this church into a mission. Souls for eternity. People that need God. They need to get out of their bitterness, their hurts, their loneliness in the middle of the night. They need help. People need help. And they need to see that they can get help when they go to the house of God. They don't want to go to a church that's dead and got nothing going on. They want to look around and see that there's hope somewhere for them. That's what the church is about. Oh, still more verses. Wow. These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to have respect of persons in judgment. Think about it. He that saith unto the wicked, Thou art righteous, him shall the people curse. Nations shall abhor him. Be careful who you're blessing. But to them that rebuke him shall be delight, and a good blessing shall come upon them. Now think about this. I've blessed a lot of you over the years. You've gotten a rebuke, right? But it's come from a friendly face and a great attitude. Every man shall kiss his lips that giveth a right answer. Dave Marshall, he's still trying to figure out where he should sit. And I still think he's in the wrong spot. But hopefully he's uncomfortable where he's sitting this morning. But he's told me all the time, he always tells me, and you ask him after church, Pastor, you tell me the truth. I want the truth. I don't care what it is, you tell me the truth. I expect you to tell me, I trust you enough to tell me the truth. And have I done it, Dave? And we're still friends. Because I did it like this. Right? You have to be careful. You gotta love somebody enough. And you gotta care about somebody enough that you can be honest and say, this is how it needs to be. Right? I've done it with Mark. I've done it with a number of us. Told you the truth. Right? But that's what we respect. People respect that. Just tell me like it is. Right? Don't candy coat something. Just tell it like it is. Prepare thy work without, and make it fit for thyself in the field, and afterwards build thy house. Get things prepared. Keep going. I got to finish this chapter. How many verses are in this?
34.
Be not a witness against thy neighbor without cause, and deceive not thy lips. Say not, I will do so to him as he hath done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. I'm going to just exactly what it did to me, that's what I'm going to do back. The Bible's totally against that. You cannot have that attitude of spirit. If somebody cuts you off, doesn't mean you're supposed to cut them off.
That's right.
God's looking for you and I to be strong, right? This is what the Scripture's talking about. Be strong in the Lord. Get some strength going. I remember Aiden a couple of years ago was playing hockey in Brockville, and I went and seen him play and whatnot, and they were beating him around. Like abuse. It was just abuse. And lots of times I've watched Jacob when he was younger play hockey, and it's not a fair system. There's so many politics and all this stuff that goes on. Everything you do is politics in it all. And so Mark's telling me, he's getting pushed around and everything. I would say, will you tell him the next time to grab the guy by the screen of his face mask and punch him about 3 times right over the heart. And I said, when he does that, the young fella's going to go down, but the rest of the team's going to see it. And all of a sudden, respect is going to be shown. Did you get respect? Yeah, you got respect. Because you did what he was told. He said, preacher, that's an awful thing to tell him. Well, I'd tell it to him again. Take care of it. You're playing the game. That's what the game is. Right? And so whatever the game is, that's what's permissible. Huh? You see, what has happened to the church is the church doesn't have any respect anymore from the world. We've lost respect. Because we've taken every little thing, every little hit, and we've taken it and we've laid down because we've thought that's what we're supposed to do. That's not what we're supposed to do. God's not asking for you and I to be ignorant, but He's asking for something to happen in our life.
That's right.
He wants you and I to be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. That strength comes and it gives you a good feeling.
Yes.
When you win, how do you feel? It's a good feeling. I just witnessed to somebody about the Lord, and I don't know whoever's talked to them before, I don't know, but man, I walked away feeling like I was walking on cloud 9. Anybody ever feel that way? Talking to somebody about the Lord, and you knew, I feel good, this is a good thing. We need to get that going in our life. You still don't know what I'm preaching about yet, do you? I'm going to tell you here in a minute. How many more verses we got, Tracy?
5.
How many?
5.
Oh, this last 5 is heavy duty. I went by the field of the slothful, and by the vineyard of the man void of understanding. Everybody got that? I went by the field of the slothful. Slothful, somebody that's lazy. Somebody just not getting nothing done, not fixing it, not doing anything. By the vineyard of the man void of understanding. A person void of understanding is a person that is not listening. We need to be people that understand. I understand, Pastor, what it is to be a Christian. I understand what it is to be a man of God or a woman of God. I understand. Pastor, I'm struggling here and here and here. It's not about people that never struggle. Everyone in this room will struggle. You're going to go through your moments and your times of struggle. It's going to be tough sometimes. It's going to get rough sometimes. But somewhere back behind us here in this chapter, God said something about getting strength. Your strength comes because you've got confidence and trust in God.
Amen.
Because you've already seen Him do something in your life. You've already witnessed Him to do something in somebody else's life. That's where your strength comes from. Because you've got to reach back sometimes. When the road looks dark in front of you, look back because there's still a light behind you. Because you've had a miracle somewhere. God's done something somewhere in your life.
That's right.
So, void of understanding. Lo, it was all grown over with thorns, and nettles had covered the face thereof, and the stone wall thereof was broken down. Everything looks awful. No hope, no peace. You see, I want us to be able to offer peace in this building. I want us to be able to offer an answer to bitterness in this building. I want us to be able to offer an answer to some of our ailments that's going on, and that God will help us correct through men and women that God gives wisdom to and answers to. This is where our help is. Our help is in these areas. Someday, well, no, already I've helped Mike, so now he's helping me. I think I've helped Nina a little bit too. She's a little shyer about it, so. Then I saw and considered it well. I looked upon it and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. This morning, my next few moments is going to be about the word convenience. Everybody say convenience.
Convenience.
You know, we have a number of those things in what they call convenience stores. You know, you forgot to get the milk, you don't want to run and clear back to the grocery store, so you stop at the convenience store and pay $3.15 more than what you would have paid at the grocery store. But it is convenient. Right? A lot of things in this world, we've set it up to be convenient. I've learned, and you're going to be shocked by this. Everybody hold on. Everybody ready for this? Because this is going to be a statement that's going to blow you right out of the water. I have learned how to defrost meat in the microwave. Like, think about it. Like, I mean, that's amazing. For a long time, I didn't realize we had a microwave. So shall thy poverty come as one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. Always going to be in want. No slumber, no sleep. Why is the church world in such a state of continual want? Why is your life, your walk with God, in such a continual state of want? It's because the church has been slumbering and sleeping. When the church is not slumbering or sleeping, then our want becomes less. And we start taking care of the needs instead of all the wants. But we're so busy with all our wants that we forget where the needs are. We do things out of convenience. Some of you came to church here this morning because it was convenient for you to come. Convenience is quite a word. I like it. I've got a chair in the living room that I like. There's actually a couple chairs that I like. And in case somebody had the other one, I can get in the other one. It's very convenient. I can lay back, flip up the lever, and stretch my feet out. And man, I get a hold of the remote. Oh, it is so nice. I bought a bed this last week. I got a brand new bed. And got rid of the big king-size bed that we had, and I bought 2 twin beds, because Hades and I sleep in separate rooms now. No, we've shoved them together. And I bought 2 twin beds that's got a remote control on it. And the head will come up. And then I push another button, your feet come up. And then it's got a button on it, TV position. And it's got a massage. It has a massage in the feet. It'll massage my feet. Then I can push another button that massages my head and my shoulders. And so now I can put it up. What I do is I put my head up with a couple pillows under it. I get it up. Then I push the button to raise my feet up. And my butt is in a valley. And you talk about a nice position. I don't know if that's a good one or not, Mike, but it's convenient at the moment. But we look for that constantly. We make things in our life convenient. Everything is about our convenience. And people have been serving God out of your convenience. Some of you young people, listen up. You've been serving God out of your convenience. I'll do this. It's convenient today. Everything's convenient today. It's fine. I can make it. I can do it. It's convenience. But let me tell you something. The day's going to come, the Bible says, that the watchman's going to be watching, and he's going to be the first one. Ooh, looks like the trumpeter's coming. Because the trumpet of God is going to sound, and the dead in Christ are going to rise first, and we which are alive and remain are going to be caught up together to meet the Lord in the air. And everybody that's serving God at convenience is going to be sleeping and slumbering and not understanding what's going on.
That's right.
You see, the 5 wise and the 5 foolish virgins, the 5 wise were watching. They were not serving God out of convenience. Here's the second word that I need you to understand here. You need to get your heart from the place of convenience to a place of necessity. When the call came, the bridegroom cometh. The bridegroom cometh. He's coming. Whoa, what do I got to do? Man, I got to repent here. I got to make this right with this person. I got to start praying. I haven't read my Bible for 6 weeks. I got to start reading the Bible. I got to be in the house of God. What do I got to do? The bridegroom cometh. The Bible says they woke in vain. They didn't find no oil anywhere. They didn't have time to get right with God. All of a sudden, their convenience turned to necessity, but the necessity was way too late to get anything right. I can't serve God out of convenience. I don't come here because it's convenient for me to come. I come here because of necessity. I need to be in the house of God. It's a need in my life, not for you. I don't come here for you. Forget that. And some of you got a real big feeling. I'm not here for you. I'm here for God because I need to worship God. I need the church setting so that I can worship God. It don't matter what faces are here. I worship God the same way whether you're here, not here, or somebody else is here. So it's not about your face. It's about being in the church setting because I have a need to be in the house of God. I need to worship God. And I need the worship of other people. Oh, this sounds so good, God. I'm glad I'm in the house of the Lord. Lord, somebody else is getting something from God. Oh, this is so exciting. I have a need.
Yes. Hallelujah.
It's not my convenience that puts me in this place. I need God.
Yes.
I don't want to serve God since I was 14 years old. And if you should come for me in the next month, I'm going to turn 59 here soon. I don't want to have missed the coming of the Lord. I don't want to get to that place where I'm old enough now. I can slacken off. I can just relax. I can just turn back. This is not about turn back. I remember Jason said to me a month or 2 ago, 3 months, whatever, time kind of slips away. Pastor, you still got the same passion. Remember saying that to me? You still got that when I first met you. You're still here. I've been here since 2002. It's now 2019. And you see, I don't want it to die. I don't put it on for you. I put it on for me. I don't flourish in this and do what I do. Some people say, why do you yell? Why do you yell? Because I like it. I like to yell. It's got nothing to do with the anointing. Really, it does not. The anointing of the Lord sometimes is very quiet and very peaceable. I haven't learned that yet. That's part of the area I'm stretching myself in my life. It's because I have a need. I want to worship God. I want to get excited. It's the part of my life that I want to give to God. I know what He has done for me. I know the deliverance He put in my soul. I know what I could be without God. I would be in prison. Seriously, I would be in jail. I might have shot somebody. I might have done whatever. That's the nature of the beast. But I want to tell you something. God has done something so great for me that I have taken my life and I've made it inconvenient. This flesh doesn't want to pray. This flesh doesn't want to worship God. This flesh doesn't want to be in church. This flesh doesn't want to pay the price. But I want to tell you something. You need to get yourself from the place of convenience in your walk with God. And you need to put it into a place. This is a necessity in my life. I need to worship God. I need to make it to Calvary. I need to be in the altar. I need to read the Word of God. I need to be a testimony, a witness to the kingdom of God. The lame man. I watched a series Mark told me about. It's pretty good. It's called something. A.D. Empire and Kingdom. And it's about Jesus in the book of Acts. And it's pretty neat. It's not all perfect, but there's enough of the truth there that it won't mess anybody up. And I got thinking, I'm watching this, and then what God laid in my heart with this message this morning. The lame man at the gate. In this series, Peter and John thought that the lame man was going to sell them out. Remember that? Because the high priest's wife went and gave him money so that he would lie. Oh no, I'm not really lame. I was just pretending to be lame. His parents set him there every day. Somebody set him there every day because it was convenient to sit at the gate of the temple. Why set him at the gate of the temple? Well, it was where the money was trading more than anywhere else. Now, it might have been trading a little bit more down where the fishery was. But that would not have been convenient to take him down there. If you'll remember correctly, if you'll remember, Jesus cleansed the temple twice in his ministry. Once at the first and once at the end. He took and turned the money changers' tables upside down because people were in the temple accepting money to make sacrifice for somebody else. They were doing the sacrifice, not you. You see, you're not going to get anywhere if I'm doing all the sacrifice.
That's right.
I'm not going to help you a bit. I'm not even going to ask to help you. It doesn't work. You've got to have your own sacrifice with God. You've got to have your own walk with God. You've got to get in your heart what God put in my heart. But it's got to get between you and God. I can't give it to you. It's got to come between you and God. Mike has seen a big change in his life and his walk with God in the last 6 months or whatever it's been now. Because there's a hunger that has burst inside of him and he wants to be filled with the Holy Ghost, speaking in an unknown tongue. He even talked to Mark about it. Mark was there for the first time last week, but Mark's in the same boat. He wants to do the same thing. You see, all of a sudden it's spreading. Why? Because somebody's talking about it. I want to do the things of God. Huh? I want this to happen in my life. I want that to happen in my life. I need God to do this in my life. Can I tell on Lee? Just a little bit. I won't tell the whole story.
Yeah.
Lee listened to me. I told a story here a week or two ago, or 3 weeks, whatever it's been. But my uncle and I, when we were in grade 11, the girls asked us, they shocked up a whole class and asked us how come we wasn't dating any of the girls at school. And we told them that we're not interested in dating girls that don't know God and is not interested in being in church. There was a lot of pretty girls in my class. I'll show you my yearbook. But we wasn't interested in those girls. Because those girls had no interest in God. I was praying and seeking. I wanted a godly woman. I want somebody that can boss me around.
You got that. You got that.
And so Lee was here. I didn't realize he was in that service. And so him and China's doing a little application, I guess. He's going to high school next year, and a little something going on there. And China's trying to educate him a little bit because she's the older sister, right? And she's talking to Lee about, at that age, that's when girls and boys, start liking one another and getting boyfriends and girlfriends and all that stuff. And she's trying to prepare him. And she asked him, what are you doing about this, or something like that? And he said, I'm preparing myself. At least 12 or 11?
11.
He's 11. He said, I'm preparing myself. How are you preparing yourself? And I don't know if I'm getting this all straight. I hope I am. And I'm going to be like Pastor. I'm preparing myself. And so anyway, they got through that, and then he's talking to his father. He said, Dad, how do I prepare myself? And Dad goes through the list. Well, she's got to be a Christian girl. She's got to believe in God. He said, because not everybody that goes to church actually believes that Jesus is God.
That's right.
And he said, that's very important. And he went through the list for him. Now think about it. He's 11. I've sown something in to an 11-year-old unintentionally. I wasn't even thinking of Lee when I was bringing this about. But he told his sister, I'm preparing myself. Christian girl. You see, it can be very convenient just to take somebody out as a young person. Well, this is convenient, they ask me. But is it right? Do you know something? Do you know how convenient it is to miss church when church is not a necessity? Oh, I got this to do, I got something else to do. I got this. Oh, do I have anything going on tonight? No, I don't think. I should plan something. Well, it's church night. I don't really need to be there. It's, Is anybody getting my message this morning?
That's right.
We're past that, church. We're getting too close to the Lord coming back. If you cannot find that place in your life, in an altar, where it is a necessity. I got some things going on in my physical that have become a necessity to get fixed. And if I don't pay attention to it, it's hard to say how long. Because you get one battle, it doesn't stop there. Right? Like I thought about quitting with my nose because I couldn't breathe anymore. So we've gotten through that. Now I got to get through the next thing. Right? Because I've got to be physically well to do what I do. What about you? See, things in our life has got to come down to that place. Vince has served God for quite a long time now. God's delivered him and put him in his place. Look where he's sitting. But, this is Dave's seat up here. He won't be comfortable. Really, it's not really convenient to sit here in the front because I do spit a lot when I preach. I think that's why Nina's leaving her coat on. You see, I don't want to live my life. Do you? I'm asking the question now. I've been a little bit comical this morning, but I want you to hear the seriousness of the message. You can no longer afford to serve God because it's convenient.
That's right.
I've said it before, if the Antichrist shows up and God tarries and we stay here, won't be no tax number here in this church. We'll be one of the first ones to take the tax number. You still want to give?
Amen.
See, it's not, things can't be done because it's convenient. It's got to be done because it's necessity. I need to serve God. It's not only just a need. I've recognized the need, but I want to. Through all the things that went on, I somehow, I fell in love with God. I can't explain all that. How that all happened. Whether it was because of all the good things He was doing for me, because I don't know, because there's been a lot of bad things happen to me too. So I guess maybe I can't relate it to that. It must be what He has said to me in the wee hours of the night.
Yes.
Or in the still small voice. Or through the voice of the preacher. Or through the voice of another man of God. Or a woman of God. Somewhere in the process of it all of a sudden, I love God. You see, I'm in this position. These are the feet that's in these shoes. I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't serve God. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know how to live. I would probably get all haywire. Like, because I'm really wired in right now and connected. I wouldn't know what to do to not serve God. I've not considered not serving God. I can't remember not considering. I can only remember I need to serve the Lord. I need to walk with God. Have we have our battles? Do we have our battles? Yes, we have our battles. But the key is to win. The righteous man falls 7 times. Gets back up again. That's the necessity. I can't lay here. I can't stay down. I've got to get back up. Friday I went to Mike's. Let me use this for an example. The first set he had me going through, I was almost sick. I told him this is a different day. I'm not feeling good. This is not good. And he just kept pushing me. Unbelievable. I got through that first set though, but I didn't feel good. Mike knew. He even looked at me and he said, I can tell. Something's different this morning. But he kept pushing me until I got to the second set. Then I started feeling better. Then he texted me, how's things going? I said, well, it's been a pretty good day. I felt good since I left your house. That was the feeling good, leaving his house. Listen, I want you to feel good leaving this house this morning.
Praise the Lord. Yes.
I don't want you to feel beat. I don't want you to feel discouraged. I don't want you to feel bitter. I don't want you to feel none of that stuff. I want you to feel good. Because all of a sudden you've made God a necessity in your life instead of it just being convenient. I can tell you, good to see Brittany here this morning. Went through quite a little struggle last Sunday night. I am so glad that she is here. And probably not even close to what her mother and father's doing.
Amen.
That's how good God is. My father, at the age of 20, gave his heart to God on a Sunday. And on Thursday, he went out into eternity. God is good to us. God is good to us. Why do you say God is good? Well, hopefully, if everything was right for those 4 days, I'll get a chance to meet my dad again. What are you talking about? Well, I will know as I am known. Isn't that what Scripture says? People that die and go on with the Lord that know God is certainly a blessing. But any youth is way too young, Brittany. Way too young. Right? We can't help some of the things that we face and go through. But it's good to listen to the advice of your elders. Don't be driving after dark, Brittany. There's a lot of ice on the road. I hear everything like I hear it. I love Brittany. Sometimes we do. We have to pay attention because it saves us from things that we could avoid at times. Is everybody hearing me this morning? Necessity. Everybody say necessity.
Necessity.
I want to get out of my convenience. Jason, I know this is not convenient. Huh? What you're facing, what you go through in your mind, all that kind of junk. But this has come to necessity. But it's a necessity because I want to. We can't serve God because of somebody else. Or circumstances. It doesn't work. I have necessity in my life because I want to. Right? Orland? Is that why you serve God? Because you want to. But the necessity is there. When you go away, do you take your Bible with you? Yeah? I think it's good. I think it's important. Oh, it has a Bible. I know. Down through the States they have that. Up here it could be any book. Canada. But I'm making a point. Have the Word of God with you. Carry it with you. Right? This little Ethan's having a little problem sleeping tonight, I guess. And I told Mark, I said, pray with him, put the Bible under his pillow.
Yes.
I've done that with so many kids over the years. And I said, if you wake up at night and you become afraid, just reach your hand in on the Bible and teach him to say Jesus. It's okay to teach a 4-year-old to say the name Jesus.
Amen.
Hello? Teach them the respect of the name instead of cursing the name. Huh? And he will. He'll learn it. Ethan's pretty smart. And I'm not going to say no more about that. Would you stand together with me, Sister Sharon? Come back to the piano, please. Praise God. The lame man was there because it was convenient. And because of the convenience, he raised money. He begged for money, and that was his living. And possibly that's how his parents lived. I don't know. But Peter and John came to the house of God, and they came to the temple out of necessity. Are you hearing me? Convenience here, necessity is on its way. Necessity will always beat convenience. Necessity will always overcome convenience. Because when the lame man kept saying his same line that he said for years, alms please, alms, alms please, alms. And he can say with the beggar's voice, alms please, alms. I'm hungry, haven't eaten for days. Alms please, alms. Peter come up to him. He said to him, I don't have any silver and gold. If I had, you know something, I think if Peter had some, he might have gave it to him. So did God conveniently keep the silver and gold out of his pocket? Always thank God for whatever position you are in life. Give God praise for it. And he came by and looked at the man and said, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, give I thee. Took his hand and said, stand up and walk. Rise up and walk. And the lame man rose up and leaped and went into the house of God, leaping and praising God. That's what the Bible says. All of a sudden, his place of convenience became a place of necessity. Do you think that the lame man ever went back to the temple again? Oh, I'm sure of it. You know, the pressure that would have been put on him, because they did put pressure on that lame man to lie. They put pressure on him. They were getting ready to segregate him and kick him out of the congregation because of what had transpired. Something good had transpired, but he refused to lie. He refused to back down under the pressure. And he said, I'll tell you what, I don't know everything, but I do know this. I was lame, and these men came, and under the name of Jesus, I stood up and walked, and I'm no longer lame. His convenient place became a place of necessity. God stepped in and worked the miracle in his life. And I'm praying here this morning, if you're here because of convenience, I'm praying God make it very inconvenient this morning. Put something down in the heart and the minds of the people in this room and let them realize, I need to serve God. It's going to become a necessity that I walk with God, because the end's coming. The end product's coming. Young people, listen to me. Jesus is getting ready to come back. One's going to be taking the other left. Two are going to be at the mill grinding. One's going to be taking the other left. Two are going to be in the pen. One's going to be taking the other left. That means half of you aren't making it. We're going with averages. Half of you aren't ready here this morning. I want to be the one that does. I want to be the one at the mill that's working, and it was a necessity for me. And Jesus came back and that trumpet God took me. I don't want to be the one that's doing it out of convenience. I want to do it out of necessity. Would you bow your head with me, please?